Hi, everybody. It's Arthur here at Arthur. I think I lost my mind a long time ago here on YouTube. Hope you're all doing great. It's Sunday. It's the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. So if you didn't have a Valentine, get in line, pick a number. Okay. I watch TV. Actually, I did a show with Linda. That was really fun. We both wore red. And so it's about, we're waiting for it to rain and thunder and all that kind of stuff here in Los Angeles. So it hasn't started yet, but it's going to. So, but it's not snow. So I apologize for those that have been dealing with that. But in the meantime, here we are. And it's not Super Bowl Sunday, so the show's on time. Yay. And in the background, as always, we have Walter, who now has his own fan base here. And we have Sherry, who always has her fan base here and other places. It's funny because I was doing a show with Mel, and Sherry was in the background, and people were asking things, and all of a sudden Mel says, "Who the heck is Walter?" I'm like, "Oh, he's the guy that helps on Sunday and helps me with my other shows. He's my dearest friend in the world." He's like, "Oh, okay." So yes, hello to Walter and hello to Sherry. They're here, and I couldn't do the shows without them. And also to the moderators, thank you so much for keeping the little Russian trolling bots away. In the meantime, just have some quick things to talk about. First of all, tonight's show or today's show or whenever you're watching the show, we're talking about politics and world events, not personal questions. I will be doing a show on Wednesday with Marina, so if you want to ask personal questions then, please call in or join and write in. It's like a radio show. No, really. I used to do radio shows. Those were fun when people would call in and ask questions. The worst one was when a woman called and said, "What will I be thinking in 5 minutes?" I looked over at the host, looked over at the engineer. They both looked at me horrified, like, what the heck is going to come out of this guy's mouth? And I just said, "I can answer that 100% correctly, ma'am." "Really? You must be a good psychic. What will I be thinking in 5 minutes?" Why did he hang up on me? Click. Simple. Or there's the one lady that didn't like my answer. She said, "Will I find true eternal love?" I said, "Do you like calico cats?" I was kidding. Or, "Who's the most creative person you ever met in Hollywood?" The guy that does my taxes, for Christ's sake. Please. What, Steven Spielberg? No. The guy does my taxes. They are a work of art, believe me. So, exciting things happening this week. This week, we're going in on Tuesday, we're entering what's known as the Year of the Fire Horse at 4:27 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for looking that up, Walter. And because that's the Chinese Lunar New Year, we're also having a solar eclipse that day. But also, I have already released the year. Ta-da! It's on my YouTube channel now. The 2026 Year of the Fire Horse complete guide for every sign needs, basically. I have all the signs, and there are chapters, so you don't have to watch the whole damn thing looking for your looking for yours. But don't forget, the Chinese Zodiac goes by the year you're born, not by the month and date or time. But like in Western astrology, we have rising signs and stuff like that. In Chinese Zodiac, they go by the elements. So this year, the fire horse, it's the horse, you're the horse, and the element is fire, okay? Which is going to be pushing everyone forward, whether you like it or not. And I also have listed in the details all the years for each one of the signs. It's like I'm an earth rooster. So, but also Walter is actually a fire horse. And I forget Sherry. She's an alligator because she's from the swamp. So anyway, voices from the swamp. Just kidding, Sherry. Okay. So anyway, so that is going up now. I put it up this morning. Today at 12:30 my time, and then each day starting the 17th, I'll put up each individual short. You're an ox. The ox is going to be fun this year. Let me tell you, it's because you guys are like pretty grounded and take things in life at your own pace. In other words, you're slow. And the fire horse is going to push and push and push. And so for all of us, it's like, the song Gently Down the Stream. Yeah, let's go gently down the stream, unless you're salmon, but salmon's not one of the water signs. It's not one of the signs. So there you go. Also coming up later this month, let me get rid of this thing. We're going into Mercury retrograde. It's February 26th through March 20th. So I do have a guided meditation embracing Mercury retrograde. I put that up every time we have a retrograde. Everybody knows the evil signs of retrograde, or the bad, what they consider bad, like, considering Mercury is in charge of communication and travel. So when you have the sign in charge of communication travel going backwards, guess what happens? Communication and travel goes backwards. So just as long as you're prepared for it, this is not time to write the contracts or sign the contracts. It's time to write them in your favor, hopefully. It's not time to buy the big ticket items, but it's time to do all your due diligence. Then once we get out of retrograde, that's when you go buy it. However, please remember that usually, even though it's February 26th to March 20th, there are shadow periods before and after. And sometimes the shadow period can be like even crazier than the entire time, which is great for me because that's right in the middle of my birthday. Anyway, long story. And let's see, what else do I have here? So yeah, so that's all. It's all good. So listen to that and you'll get through it all. I promise. And also, if anybody's looking for a personal reading, if I'm not carrying a sandwich board on a sign somewhere in Wilshire Boulevard that says "We'll read for food," you can reach me at arthureaseyourmind.com. Okay, I do have some openings left in February, and March is wide open, except the 1 week or the couple of days that I'll be in Las Vegas with Val for our show, which is sold out. Yay. So there you go. So lots and lots of wonderful questions from everybody here. So thank you so much for joining us here. The first thing I was going to bring up is a lot of questions regarding the SAVE Act. I know everyone was upset that it did pass the House. It passed it was 218 by 213. I didn't think it was going to pass, but it did. So I admit I was wrong. However, when it comes to the Senate, I do not feel the Senate's going to pass the SAVE Act. Now, it's going to get stalled. Now, Humpty Trumpty is saying that he's going to issue an executive order if it gets stalled. I don't see that happening. Even if he were to do an executive order, it'll go right to a lawsuit. And the more lawsuits, the more delays it'll be. So honestly, I do not feel it's going to pass. However, if I am wrong about that, I'm human. I see lawsuits, and I see it's going to be voted as, if it does go through, it's going to be voted as unconstitutional, and it'll go to the Supreme Court. Okay? So that's my prediction on this one. So I think there were some questions regarding the SAVE Act, weren't there? So we can put those up. And now it's time for my purple eyeshadow. However, before we begin, somebody did ask, okay, here we are. Laura in Austin, will the SAVE Act pass the Senate? If it does, I assume there will be a lawsuit and it will go up to SCOTUS. What will they do? A poll tax is illegal and in the Constitution, but I don't trust Alito, etc. Well, Alito can vote what he wants, but the rest of them may vote against him. It'll be like the SAVE Act, or to me, it equates to how many jelly beans are in this jar so you can vote? All of a sudden, I thought of Ronald Reagan. Don't ask me why. But anyway, and also, Laura's asking, Trump has quietly stopped 1,400 public libraries that have already processed passports for people to prepare for the SAVE Act to pass. Will there be a lawsuit for this? Yes, there'll be lawsuits. Yes. And I believe Mark Elias is in the middle of it too. So look at his site, Democracy Docket, I think it's called. Hi, Arthur and team. Arthur, may we please see if the 4 GOPers, Gopers, predicted to vote down SAVE will indeed do so? Murkowski, she will not vote for it. McConnell, I know, right? I had to look that up. Please don't put initials. I had to look that up. I don't think McConnell's there mentally anyway, but that's personal opinion only and entertainment purposes. Tillis and Collins. Yeah, I believe, I'm not sure about McConnell. He may vote against it, but, we'll see about that. But thank you so much. Glad you're better. Physically, I'm better. The jury style and the other stuff, mentally. But no, thank you. Thank you for asking. So, yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Let's say there was one question. Oh, okay, first of all, I just want to put this up. We had fun with this one. From Kimberly. Hey, Arthur, love and light. What do the ET think of Trump? I didn't know he appeared on Entertainment Tonight. That's how I'm going to answer that. Okay. Next. Cassandra, will we see a stock market crash? If so, when? I really don't care. I don't have stocks. I don't know anything about stocks. So I could care less. I mean, in 2008, I was at the mall and this news crew came up to me and said, so what do you think about the crash? I'm like I care? I mean, my retirement fund is called the Ceramic Pig. I know nothing about finances. It didn't end up on the show. No, I do feel there's an adjustment coming up, but at the end of March, I feel there's going to be something, and people aren't going to be jumping out of windows or anything like that. I just feel that it's not like the Great Depression. I feel things will be adjusted fairly, believe it or not. But what Trump forgets is that this country, the economy, he always says, is by the stock market. No, it's the people, the regular people, their money and their mattresses. That's what counts. Okay. Hi, Robin. Hi, Arthur. Do you think Trump was behind the Nancy Giuffre kidnapping for another distraction? Thanks. Okay. Remember when I said I don't like conspiracy theories? Well, I can understand you asking the question. To me, this is conspiracy. I don't think Trump even knew who Nancy Giuffre was, or Guthrie was, to be honest with you. Will Nancy Guthrie be found soon? Will Savannah go back to her TV job after? Thank you for these great Sunday shows. Love them. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. I love all of you too. I did a show yesterday with Linda. And it's very hard for me as a psychic. I get a lot of this different information here. And a lot of times it'll be like, there have been people, psychics, who've been asked, is so-and-so, they've been kidnapped, are they alive? They'll say they're alive, and then 3 months later they're found unalive. And then people say, oh, they're a horrible psychic. Well, at that moment, they could still have been breathing when they give the prediction. I don't feel a good outcome on this. That's all I'm going to say. But what I have said, and I think I said this last week, was when we get around the 17th, 18th, 19th of this month, things are going to come forward. I feel they're like 3 people. I think I originally said 2, but I feel there's 3 people. And someone's going to get caught at the end of the month trying to leave. They're going to be trying to travel, and that's what they're going to get them. Okay? So I really feel that the who, what, when, and where of who did this and why, we will know by the end of this month, no later than March 3rd. Okay? That's my guide show me. Will she go back to her TV job? I'm not sure right away. I feel she'll take a hiatus. Okay? Hi, Nikita. Hi, Arthur, Sherry, and Walter. Since Trump never follows the law, will he be sending ICE to polls to suppress voters? Will it work? Much blessings of good health to you. Well, thank you. Grateful for your Sunday shows. And I'm thanking you for all of you being here, because without you, I'd have no Sunday show. Well, I would, but just doing sock puppets would be very boring. Even if you were to send people to the polls, what are they going to do? Shoot people? No. I feel even that he does send people, the people that are going to show up at the polls are just going to be brazen and like, yeah, whatever, get out of my way. I'm voting. Okay. Is ice melting or heading to Boston? I feel like a weatherman. I feel they're going to try and do something in Boston, but they're going to get turned away at the border. Okay. Nancy Frey, will Minnesota recover from the assault by ICE? Will the thugs be withdrawn? Will there be reparations? Please be honest. Okay. Well, basically, the ICE has been receding. They said they're going to keep a small little group there. I do feel the state is going to go after the alleged, quote unquote, alleged assassins who murdered American citizens. And there will be repercussions. And justice will be served in time. Not right away, but in time is what the guides just say. Okay. Now, when I say I think, I don't think. I have no mind. I'm the village idiot. But when I say I think, it's basically from the guides. Okay? Just let you know. But that's what I'm getting. Thugs withdrawing, yeah. Hi, artist. Will Pumpkinhead turn on Pam Bondage? Thank you. I love that. Of course. He turns on everybody. You know, she's not doing what he wants. And it's all going to backfire on her. And I've always said I see her. I'm going to say right now, the guy just said end of March. She may not be around in that position. Okay. In time, as we get into 2027, what they keep on showing me are indictments, her losing her law license, and her ending up probably with some charges against her and in jail. Okay. Hey, Jem. Happy Sunday. I see Bondi planning her exit. What do you think? Has 45 blackmailed her yet? She's getting ready to exit stage right. Okay. Exit stage right might go in right heading to a lawsuit. So that'll be fun. Okay. Hi, Arthur. Will the smirk on Bondi's face be removed? Yes, when she has that come to Jesus meeting and Jesus bitch slaps her. Entertainment purposes only. I'd love to see that. Anyway, but yes, I'm saying by the end of March. Okay. That'd be my best birthday present. And Lisa, hi, Arthur. Will NATO and EU survive and grow stronger, or will they slowly become weaker, just as T wants? I love the small T. Thank you. Please be safe, happy, and healthy. Thank you, Annalise. She's not the, Annalise is in Denmark. I feel NATO becomes stronger. Okay. And EU survives this. They really, really do. So great question. Just like Trump tried to weaken NATO first time around, Biden came in and strengthened it. He's trying to weaken it again, but the EU is going to strengthen it. Okay. Hi, Arthur. What is up with Roger Stone? Do I really have to look? Same as usual. Just on the sidelines doing what he does and not very nice stuff. Entertainment purposes only. I mean, would you really trust a man who has a big tattoo of Richard Nixon on his back? Which he really does. Think about it. Next question, please. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Arthur. Will the 250th birthday festivities next year be free from chaos? Well, if you can consider, yeah, all I see is an army tank. Big celebration. No, they were talking about like having race cars and all that, driving through DC, and please, and the boxing or the wrestling thing. I hope we do have all that in memory, in tribute to a former president. Okay, I'll put it that way. Then I would go and celebrate. Teresa Spriggs, thank you for the super sticker. That is so sweet of you. As you know, it all goes back to the channel, like things like videos for You're the Fire Horse and things of that nature. Hi, Pinky. Will Trump's proposed Independence Arch, the Trump, be built despite the hazard it will cause? Thanks. It's not going to be built. It'll be built as soon as they put his face on Mount Rushmore, okay? That's how I predict it. Even though he has a little statue supposedly on his desk of Mount Rushmore with his face on it. So I'm sure he has little Arc de Trump on his desk too. No, I don't see it happening. Hi, Patty. Thank you for your work. Well, thank you for your super sticker. That's very sweet of you. Very sweet. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight or today, whenever you're watching. Hi, Katie. Happy Sunday, team. Will Jamie Raskin be elected House Speaker over Jeffries? Good question. Now, I've always said since last February that I felt there's a great chance of the House turning blue before the midterms. I mean, the guy, is his name Dunn in Florida? If he resigns, it's going to be really fun. Then Johnson will definitely be out. However, as far as Jamie Raskin becoming Speaker of the House, I know some people want to see that. I'm not sure if he wants to take that leadership role. I'm not going to say anything about his health. I just feel he's got lots of other things to do with everything he's going to be straightening out, getting things back on track with the Constitution once somebody is no longer there. But down the line, I'm not going to say right away, but I've always felt AOC as the next Nancy Pelosi in time. Don't ask me when. They just keep on showing. I just come seeing her with the gavel. Okay, so we'll take it from there. But as far as Raskin, I'm not seeing it. Hi, Kathy. If Trump ever pardons his kids or anyone, how can that stick when he isn't a legitimate president? Good question. Well, he can pardon them, but then it's taken away, I guess. I don't know the law. But I actually feel there's a folder with names of people that he has a list of people he wants pardoned. And everybody will snicker and laugh when because his name's at the top. He can't pardon himself. But I think it's in the folder right next to the divorce papers. Entertainment purposes only. Hi, Laura. How did Erica Kirk and her staff at Turning Point, which some people here are calling Toilet Paper USA, really feel about Bad Bunny's show? They paid people to stand at the Kid Rock one. Regrets? Are there issues behind the scenes? Honestly, I just got them looking at afterwards going, what the hell is he doing at Chris Rock? You know, he says he wasn't lip syncing. Yeah, neither did Milli Vanilli. But I just keep on going, damn, that was a good show Bad Bunny had, which they will not admit. Did you realize that 40 people were fired, though, from the Bad Bunny crew? The ones that in the grass? people because they had signed NDAs and had sent pictures of their costumes and everything before the halftime show, and people got mad, so they got fired. Anyway, so much for being grass. Entertainment purposes only. Hi, Anja. Weird question. No weird question, just weird people. Because of the depth of DT's depravity and ill will, what will it be like for him when he crosses? Any special accommodations? You know, I hear music all the time, even though no one's there. I keep on hearing the song Highway to Hell, so that's all I'm going to say. Actually, we all have reviews, and, you know, he'll want to rewrite, put it that way. Sea Bloom. Yeah, we already moved that from her face. Can you go back to Sea Bloom? We didn't get to that question. There you go. Catherine wants to know, will Felon 47's destructive actions against EPA regulations be restored? Will we have Clean Air Act? Things will be restored. It's not going to be overnight, but by the time we get to the end of 2027, I feel a lot of things are getting back put in place. Okay? Great question, though. Thank you. Annie, just finished watching Arthur's video on Year of the Horse affects each sign. So thoughtful and well organized. Anything on how it affects those of us born in last Fire Horse year, 1966? Thanks. It's the same. It's moving fast, moving forward. But since it's the Fire Horse year, and it's every 60 years, so congratulations. It's just a little bit more magnified. Things are going to go your way. Okay? That's what I keep on reading here. So congratulations. Bree. Hi, Arthur, Sherry, and Walter. Do you see any earthquakes coming up along the Oregon coastline when ice shows up? Just kidding. Thanks so much, Arthur. We really appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you here. I really do. I've always felt off the Oregon coastline quakes, not massive tsunamis or anything like that, but enough to like, hey, did you hear about the earthquake off of, Arthur was right. That's what I hear. Off the coast. Not inland. Okay. I do get that. I want to say June. Okay. Let's hope I'm wrong. So anyway, that's what I got. Shooting Star. Hi, Arthur, Sherry, and Walter. Do you see anything happening to either Tulsi Gabbard or Jared Kushner about the whistleblower report? Well, the fact that it even came out is a miracle in itself, but anything, eventually things are found out. I'm still waiting for the grassy knoll stuff, but things will find out. And I feel Gabbard does go down on this, as well as Jared Kushner. But Jared Kushner is going to be going down for more than just the whistleblower thing. There's a lot of other things that are going to be catching up to him. That's what the guys keep on saying ever since Khashoggi was disallowed. The guys have always said it's in God's time, not our time. But as that song goes, sooner or later, he's going to be mine, is what Santa Morthwa keeps on saying. Okay? Hi, Jenny O. Greetings, Arturo. Considering we're in eclipse energy now, will we start to see accountability for some of the Epstein class that have been implicated in the files? We have, like I said, we have a solar eclipse coming up on the 17th. And that energy, when we have solar eclipse energy, it's like almost like when we have the full moon, and then that's when things get illuminated. We go into a period of darkness, then things get illuminated. That's what this energy is going to be doing here. And also the fact that it's doubled up with the energy of the fire horse, it's going to be really, things are going to be moving. Also, I'm not an astrologer like my teacher, but I will say this. I know not to get in trouble, not to get out of it. But from what I've seen, when we hit the 17th, that's going to land in Pumpkinhead's chart as a Gemini. And from what his chart's going to look like worse than Matthew Perry's. That's why I keep on saying, I feel the end of February, him not doing too well. And by the end of March, and I've said it, I'm just going to go on record. Gurney, handcuffs. I don't see him leaving the country. Okay? Unless they're willing him on a gurney in handcuffs out of the country. But I don't see that happening. Okay? Rose Blue. How will the blue moon eclipse dumps health and money? It goes over DC and Mar-a-Lago, Florida. Coincidentally, isn't that cute? As Einstein said, coincidence is when God remains anonymous. So yeah, it's not going to benefit him. Okay, put it that way. So, like I said, every time I'm in Whole Foods and see Swiss cheese, it's like, Trump's brain. Again, entertainment purposes only. Hi, Kathy. We haven't heard from Dr. Phil in a while. Gee, wonder why. What's happened to him? Dr. Oz looks like he's in a lot of trouble now with Epstein. Yes. Did you know that Dr. Oz has dual citizenship with, I believe it's Turkey? Interesting. Dr. Phil? Okay, I'm going to put it this way. Mother once said, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. When did I listen to my mom? He's in hiding. I see the guy going bankrupt. Or threatens of bankrupt. That's what I'm seeing here. Things catch up to these people. It's like watching Goodfellas. They get so far, and then all of a sudden, everything's smacked out from under them. Hi, Gemini. Do you see measles causing cases increasing from the 53 confirmed cases in Ave Maria, Florida? I'm going to say what they just showed me is they kept on saying transformation. So I'm going to say no. I feel they're going to be getting it under control. But what I just heard was by the second week of March, there may be an outbreak somewhere else. So I'm sure Kennedy will be right on top of it. Just kidding. I told you I'm entertainment purposes only. Cassie, Arthur, what do you see for Canada-U.S. trade? Oh, don't ask me about U.S.-Canada trade. It's a bad question today. Okay, personal information. There was a medication that is real expensive here to get in the States. So I've been getting it from Canada for forever. And the last time I had my prescription filled, I even had to pay a tariff, which is a third more than what the medication cost. And today, what did I get? Or yesterday, what did I get in the mail? A note from the United States Food and Drug Administration. They're going to destroy it, and I don't get it. So anyway. So what do I think about the trade? It sucks. But I do feel it's going to change. I really, really feel it's going to change. When the Supreme Court, okay, hi, Bella. When the Supreme Court will pronounce a verdict on tariffs. Oh, when will? I'm not sure exactly when they're going to, but when they do, there's going to be a big orange man in a in a diaper crying. He's not going to get his way. They make him a little bit, but overall, nope. It's not going to get his way with the tariffs. Drifted Light. Hi, Arthur. What do you see for the housing market this year? Thank you. I hear David Bowie seeing changes. What I'm getting here is they just showed me after March, show me on a calendar, after March into April, in sign of Aries, there's going to be a shift for the better. Now, I do have some clients that are real estate people, and I've often, when I do their readings, I've been seeing a change in the market for the better for everybody. So that's what I'm getting here. I see a shift for the better. I would say by mid-April. Okay. Hi, Susan. Hi, Arthur and Sherry and Walter. Are you able to elaborate a little more on what you have predicted on Tangerine Man exit out of office? Well, what I've always felt is, what I've always seen, put it that way, is, well, first of all, back in July of 2023, I said, I don't worry about him because you have to be alive to be a president. I was wrong, sort of. But I don't see him continuing. He's not going to do the 4 years. What I've always felt is after the 17th, when his chart changes, there's more stuff coming out about the e-files. People are just going to be turning their backs on him. He gets betrayed, but also his body's betraying him. You know, they can only pump him up with so many drugs. And then, you know, all I kept on seeing was Judy Garland just now. But they can only pump up with so many drugs. And then I see his decline. And more, I feel that in public, people start seeing his decline. And he'll be not completing sentences, but then what else is new? Talking word salads where you want French dressing afterwards. And I just feel the slow decline. And his days are going to be, he's not going to be working. Well, did he ever? But he's not playing golf. He's not doing a lot of things. And then it gets reported that he's not in office. Now, I've never seen J.D. Vance as our vice president turning into the president. They always say to me, he's a co-conspirator. So how it all goes down exactly, I'm not sure detail to detail. And what I often tell people is when there's predictions, look at the big picture, not at the minuscule little details. All I'm saying is that I don't see him being in office and it starts at the end of February into March. End of February, I really feel there's a decline. And I feel he may not be in power, let's put it that way. Not that he is now, but you know what I'm saying. So that's what I get. Again, entertainment purposes only. Hi, Tara S. Backwards. If Senate does not pass SAVE Act, will ICE be standing inside of polling stations and throwing people out violently, indiscriminately, having just decided the vote is not authentic? No, I don't see that. I don't see that. God, if that were to happen around here, I know a lot of people would be like, oh, I just bumped into an ICE agent. I was driving, sorry. I don't see that happening. I mean, that's everybody's worst fear. So let's not project that. Okay. Hi, Nancy. Will Minnesota recover from the assault by ICE? Will the thugs be withdrawn? Yes, we've read that already. Yes. Yes, and yes. But, you know, Arthur, dehydrated water sale. I love that name. Arthur, will Puerto Rico get independence, become a state, or remain a U.S. territory. Eventually, it becomes a state. I mean, the 51st state is Canada, but don't tell them. Just kidding. Puerto Rico does become a state in time. Okay. And then they get a grid. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Arthur. Will the people of Iran get free from the religious regime this year? I'm not sure about this year, but eventually. I know that sounds like, oh, he doesn't know what he's saying. He's just going to say eventually. They're not giving me a specific time frame, but it does change. I just pulled a creepy kid card. You know, I don't use cards that much. But I just said, what's happening to Iran? And I got, it's a sinking ship. It's a creepy kid card. So that's how I'll answer that. Okay. It'll shift. Arthur, will Felon 47's actions reversing EPA regulations be reversed so we still can have clean air regulation? Yes, I said that. Yes, EPA stuff will go back into effect. And in fact, when it does go back into effect, it'll be stronger. In fact, once a lot of changes are going to come down when they're no longer around. I know. But I keep on saying like we have a sinking ship right now. The people coming in are going to like shore up the holes in the ship. That's the Constitution. But then I also see them rebuilding from the ground up. Okay? So it's all good. Hey, Dakar Brown. Just found that Russia is recruiting soldiers from Africa to fight in Ukraine. Will the UN stop the recruiting? I don't know if the UN can stop the recruiting. But I don't see, no, I don't see they're going to stop the recruiting. But I don't see it lasting long. Okay? Nancat, do you see Texas gubernatorial race going blue? Purple. Not 100%. I get some seats that everyone thinks are going to definitely go red, go blue, but some that they think there's a few that still get through. So I'm going to say purple. But Democrats are going to have a good showing. Okay. Moby Mall. When will immigration become more humane and stop separating families? When Stephen Miller goes back to high school. There has to be a regime change or Fourth Reich change, but there will be. And I'm getting here that as we get into 2027, I mean, immigration has always been crazed, but I also say DACA is still going to survive. And the courts are stepping in and finally will be wielding their power, especially when Bondi and the like are dismantled. Okay. Hi, Tita. Will Pam Bondi be out soon? She is so blatant about being the attorney for Trump 45 instead of being an attorney for the entire country. I mean, did you watch that hearing where she's like a 17-year-old girl with her little burn book to come out with little quips? Please. That was so juvenile. At least you should have used 3x5 cards. That's what you do in school. But she's going to be out. I'm going to say no later than the end of March. Okay. Along with Christy Noem. Hi, Linda. Thank you so much for the super sticker. That is so kind of you. But I will also say right behind her is Kristi Noem, Kash Patel. You know, like I always say, my God, after this regime goes, do you realize how many clown cars are going to be available at the dealerships? Interesting. Peekaboo. Will subsidized housing survive 2026? Thank you so much for being here for us. You're welcome, and thank you for being there for me. And yes, it's going to survive. We're all going through a moment of, oh my God, and panic. Have faith. Okay? Have faith. Part of our new national anthem is going to be, I will survive, or I did survive. Thank you, Gloria Gaynor. Hi, Mario. Arthur, do you see Trump attacking Iran? I know he's been threatening it, but I'm going to put it this way. What they just showed me 4 weeks. If he does nothing in 4 weeks, he's not going to do anything. Okay? So the possibility, yes. Let's hope I am completely wrong. When will RFK leave? His body? Just kidding. Again, end of March, there's going to be some changes. Lots of changes coming up. And then we get real people and real scientists at the CDC. Wouldn't that be nice? And I always say that somehow in 2027, mid-2027, USA comes back. It might have a different name, but it's the same thing. Okay? So they showed me that last night. Artist Liz, thank you so much. Every little bit helps. That is so sweet of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Keg's breast supposedly set up a bunch of lasers and it affected pilots in New Mexico. Any accountability? Did you find this out on a single chat? Just asking. I get there's accountability. I get accountability on this. Also, I get him not being around after March too, and I'm also feeling that his wife is getting ready to file for divorce. Entertainment purposes only. Will Gavin Newsom be our next president? Asked the Phase 4. This is one of those things where it's like, is it an odd or even day? Because you can get different answers on this one. I want to say things are leaning towards it, but the final outcome, I'm not completely sure of just at this moment. It's close, but I'm not going to say 100% yes. Okay? Only God's 100%. Teltra, thank you. Hi, Arthur, do you see the Trump regime being taken out for cheating in the 2024 elections? If not, will it be selling national defense secrets? Love your show. Thank you, and I love you. Whole thing about the election, that's coming out. It might be coming out after he's no longer sitting at the Resolute desk. God, you remember when Elon Musk's little kid was like sticking his boogers on the Resolute desk? That was so fun. Anyway, honestly, no. So I'm going to say it. Okay. Will California, Oregon, and Washington come together and form their own healthcare system? Well, when we become part of Canada, we'll be under theirs. Just kidding. I'm not seeing it at this time. I gotta know. Could be wrong, but that's what I get. Hi, Ann Dunning. Follow up to EPA question. Will car companies and other producers plan for reversals or tool factories for pollution? They can plan for it. But what do you mean by reversals? In other words, oh, you can put sulfur oxide into the air, and then you can't, and then you can't. I'm getting there's going to be some money spent on EPA changes after 2028. Okay. Peekaboo, once again, I answered that. Subsidized housing. Yes, it continues. Thank you for the super sticker. C. Bloom, it's so sweet of you. Mandolin, hi Arthur. Will the people who are in detentions be released? Yes, eventually. It's 1 day is too long for these people. But I do get, as the DOJ changes heads, people leave, people get indicted, and the courts are going to be stepping in on this within the next 3 weeks. I really get the court stepping in and also cracking down on a lot of the stuff. Also, the people trying to buy the warehouses to warehouse people, like mayors and other people are like not letting the permits go through anymore. So people are standing up in their own ways. So yeah, I feel that they will be released, and there'll be lots of lawsuits. Julian, hi Arthur. Do you see the people who have supported DT through the years be embarrassed or ashamed when DT is gone? I don't know what you're talking about. I never said that. What are you talking about? The red hat? What red hat? Okay. MAGA? Didn't that mean make America gay again? Okay. They'll deny it. Hi, Susan Todd. Thank you. And thank you. Love you and thank you. And thank you. No, thank you. I feel like Chip and Dale. Thank you. Thank you. Back and forth. Hi, Stephanie. The more I learn about this network of and demonically powerful, the more I am disheartened about us being able to protect the vulnerable. Will the full extent of the network be exposed? Honestly? No. I mean, a lot of it is going to come crashing down, but no. I hate to say it like that, but that's what I got. Hi, Arthur. Do you see prices coming down soon? Thank you. Hi, Sasha. Depends what your definition of soon is, but I feel as we get into spring, there's some shifts. But the thing is, a lot of it is greed. I really feel Kroger and the rest of them can bring the prices down. They just don't want to because they're making money. People are paying for it. Why should we bring the prices down? You know, same thing at other stores where it's like they mark everything up and we're putting it on sale. And then they give you a sale price, which is actually the original price. And everything is like marked up anyway. But I hate to say and talk like that. Some things will go down, but for majority, there's going to be some changes in the administration. And when that happens, then prices will change. Okay. Arthur et al. Will the State of the Union address happen on February 24th? If it does, how terrifying will it be? How much? It may be delayed. If it does happen, I just feel people are going to see this man for who he really is. I mean, it's going to be like in Arthur C. Clarke's Childhood's End when the Overlord comes forward and he looks just like Satan. Perhaps. But I just get embarrassment if it happens. We'll see. Okay. And don't ask me, well, is that a clone? Please. He already grew his ear back. What do you think? Janet Jackson, since the Orange Menace is going to give pardons to his minions, will the states be able to prosecute them successfully? Yes. Federal has nothing to do with state when it comes to pardons. Julian Baker, will Pennsylvania ever raise the minimum wage? My home state. Yes. I don't know why I'm hearing something about October. I don't know if it's going to be a ballot initiative coming forward on this, but I do get minimum wages being raised. I sound like Elmer Fudd, sorry. I do feel that minimum wages will go up in Pennsylvania. I feel it'll also be voted on. Okay. Thank you. Hi, Brenda. Will there be lawsuits or reparations for the boats and people that the Navy blew up? You betcha. I always got a yes on that. I always got Hegseth with war crimes. So, yes. Hi, Laura. Iran, the USS Gerald Ford carrier, is in the Persian Gulf. Are we going to war? It's been there. I thought it's been there for a while. Oh no, it was in outside Venezuela. I think it's to me it feels like it's saber rattling. Like I said, if we don't do anything with Iran in 4 weeks, I don't see anything happening. Okay. Thank you for the super sticker, Julia. That is so kind of you. And I think we have time for like one more question. And if you want to know my height and weight, it's short and fat. Hi, Linda. Hi, Arthur. When will we see the ACA addressed? When we went through a long shutdown, and I don't recall it being brought up in Congress. So many distractions with the EP files. They're just showing me something up. I don't know what this means. I'm just going to say March 17th, 18th, 19th, something's coming up around it. I do feel it will be addressed. And I do feel things are going to change for the better. Something about there's a vote that's going to be coming through. Probably when Mike Johnson's not there anymore. Okay. So something's afoot. So I'll put it that way. We'll know at the end of March. All right. When Mike Johnson goes back to Grindr or something. Hi, Nancy. Just to encourage you, Arthur. Thank you. It takes a lot to encourage me. Not really. Hi, C. Lee. Thank you again. Thank you for the super sticker. Everybody is so nice and kind here today. Thank you. Mary Mack, 888. Thank you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I'm going to say this. I've always say this. People say to me, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? We can hide and run and scream, or we can let our voices be heard. Congressional Switchboard 202-224-3121. Please make a note of it. Also, there's a great app, which I always talk, or site, I always bring up, 5calls.org. It helps you understand who your representative is, how to get a hold of them, snail mail, email, voicemail, phone numbers, templates on what to say, how to say it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't just put these up here. I use these all the time. Okay. And then my fave app, Goods Unite Us. It's on Apple and Android. It lets you know who in the zoo is donating to who in the zoo. I've often said there are a couple stores I would frequent, and once I saw 100% were going to the Elephant League, no. I mean, I like Dumbo, but still. It was going to the Elephant League, and I was like, no, I'm not shopping there anymore. Okay? So double check that. In the meantime, please, if you have a moment, please check out The Year of the Fire Horse. It's on my YouTube channel. It's free, and hopefully it can help you navigate through what's coming up this next year on your Chinese astrological sign. And I have the years listed on that too. And also, don't forget, we're going into Mercury retrograde. So double check the Embracing Mercury Retrograde guided meditation. And if anybody's looking for a reading, I mean, I read people all the time. I always say when I go to the mall, it's like, I read people, yeah. They're wearing what? Don't they have a mirror at home? That's how I read, okay? So if you're looking for a reading, you can always find me at arthureaseyourmind.com. In the meantime, thank you for being here. You know I love you all. And I just don't say that. I mean, I have no life. I have no family. I do, but they're in Pennsylvania. Mega, other story. But no. You guys are a wonderful community. And I did a members only the other night. And I meant it when I said to everyone, you guys, this community, you look out for each other. I do look at the chats after the show and how you're all there helping each other up and there for each other, supporting each other. It's wonderful. And yeah, so thank you. All right. So until next time, which is Tuesday, I'll be doing a show with Mel, hopefully on Aloha Tuesday. Wednesday, I'll be with Marina doing private shows or private readings. Private shows are me doing sock puppets. Long story. Anyway. Do you ever see OnlyFans with sock puppets? Never mind. It's a long story. Anyway, I love you all. I care about you. I'm battling right now. So anyway, have fun. And we're all in this together. So don't ever feel you're alone. All right? Love you all.